Hey everybody, it's Allison, stlprostretch.com. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Today we're going to be doing a video covering glute stretches by request. I have another video called Glute Extravaganza. It's got some other stuff in it like foam rolling and then some adductor, so inner thigh work as well as glute because they are balancing muscles. So if you want to problem solve and balance out your body, you really should do both. But today we're just going to focus on glutes and lots of stretches. So we're going to start with one of my favorites. This is a standing one. Always move and resist. We are always contracting the muscle as we're stretching it. So keep that in mind. Never work through pain. Stop if it hurts. Okay? So let's go start stretching. So this is a standing glute stretch. You might want to use something to hang onto. I'll just grab this chair over here. I always forget about that. People don't have some people don't have as good a balance as I do. I've been practicing this for a long time. So we're going to stand on one leg. I've got my right leg, and I'm going to lift my left leg, bend the knee, and cross the ankle over the knee. My ankle is pressing into my thigh above my knee the entire time that we're doing this stretch. So I'm pressing the ankle into the thigh. I'm going to stick my butt out as much as I can and lower down by bending my right leg. Still pressing the ankle into the thigh until I feel a stretch in the glute, and then I'm going to push back up again. I'm using my left leg to push back up more so than the right, but that's just because we want to strengthen the muscle and stretch it at the same time. Also, the right leg can get tired. We're not stretching the right leg, we're stretching the left leg. So I'm always pushing the ankle into the thigh as I stretch, and I move up and down. We are always moving and always resisting. The lowering phase is the eccentric contraction, and the lifting phase is the concentric contraction. If you're like me, as you come back up, you might get a little TFL action. And I'm also feeling a little bit in my adductors, my groin, so that probably means that I need to stretch those muscles before I do this. But I'm not really concerned about it right now. It's not painful. So how many reps? Probably take about 3 before you're going to start feeling the muscle open up. The muscle's going to fire, so it's going to start to get warm, and that's going to help you with the stretch as well. And then we will switch legs. So now I'm standing on my left leg. I'm going to cross my right ankle over. I'm going to press my right ankle into the left thigh. Stick my butt out, blossom your bottom, whatever you want to call it, and bend the left knee, always pressing the right ankle into the left thigh. So we are moving, and always resisting. So this would be your standard yoga figure 4 stretch. We're just adding movement, and we're adding resistance. I know a lot of people like to do pigeon. We will catch pigeon at the end of this video. And it's going to seem really easy, actually, probably after you do all these. We'll do a couple more. And then we're going to come down on the mat. This second stretch is going to seem really easy compared to this one because we've already stretched the glutes in the same manner. But for those of you who would rather do the glute stretch on the mat, lie down. I'm crossing my left ankle over my right thigh. I'm going to lift both legs. I'm going to take my left hand, put it through the hole around the back of the left or the right thigh, and clasp my hands. If you can't reach there, get a strap. That's why I did the first one first, because most people can do that one. Some people have trouble getting into this position. So I'm holding the back of my thigh. Now, action. My left ankle is pushing out the entire time, the whole time. So I've got my hands clasped around. I'm going to push my left ankle into my right thigh. I'm going to push until my whole body, upper body starts coming along for the ride. This is your counterbalance. Your upper body is providing some resistance. And then we're going to let the arms win. The left ankle is still pushing into the right thigh as we pull back. And I'll bring it into my chest until I feel a stretch. So push out with the left ankle, keep pushing out, and then pull back and feel the stretch. And it does feel a little bit different than the standing one. I'm going to add something here that I don't normally, but sometimes we do it in class, and it's to get into the piriformis a little bit more. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my right hand and I'm going to hook it around my left foot. So my palm meets the arch of my foot. I'm going to push out with that left foot the entire time I'm doing this, pushing out, and whatever you want to do with your right leg. And then I'm going to drag it over to the right and back again. And that'll get a little bit closer into that piriformis muscle. And then we'll switch sides. So now the right ankle is going to cross over the left knee. Again, I'm always pushing out with my right foot the entire time that we're moving forward and back. I'm going to take my right hand, put it through the hole, left hand around the back, push the right ankle into the left thigh, push, push, push. That's your strength. And then to get the stretch, you're going to keep pushing the ankle into the thigh and pull back. So we want that muscle to fire while we're stretching it. This is how we get the eccentric contraction. It also puts a muscle in charge, which makes it feel safer, rather than just yanking the muscle. Yanking the muscle, it may feel good, but the muscle's not really learning anything. And this is not an abdominal exercise. As I push out, I'm just letting my right leg do all the work. My upper body's just along for the ride. Consider it a passive stretch for your back. And then I'm going to take that little piriformis thing. This is something I caught from Desiree Runbaugh. She taught some yoga seminars here in St. Louis. And this was a really good one. I'm going to take my palm to my arch, hook it around the foot. The foot's always pushing out. I'm just going to push it, and then I'm going to take it across to the left. And that's going to get into piriformis, also glute medius a little bit, and minimus, which really feels nice. Those muscles are hard to stretch, hard to get into. And it feels really great. I want to keep this foot flexed because, well, first of all, we don't want to encourage the ankle to sickle like that. But also, you're just going to get a better stretch if you keep it flexed, dorsiflex. And then we're going to come up, and we're going to do a TFL stretch. So it's a little muscle that feeds into your IT band. I'm including it in the glutes because I think it's an abductor. So yeah, it's considered glute. So I'm going to take my foot, my right foot. I'm going to move it over just a little bit and cross my left ankle. I've got my arms behind me. I'm going to move back as much as I need to. And this one's kind of a resistance stretch. It's a little hard to classify it that way, but it's effective. So we're going to take the right knee out to the side as far as you can go. I'm going to push my left knee down as far as I can go. So that's where we're getting the TFL stretch right there. I have another video on TFL, and it just has these two stretches, but I thought I'd include them in this one because it might help you. This is also borrowed from yoga, double pigeon. And then we're going to switch sides. So now my right ankle is crossed over my left knee, and we're going to go over and try to press the right knee down. Ooh, I'm tight on this side. You never know. One side is usually tighter than the other. And sometimes we start exploring these regions and we're like, wow, I didn't even know I was tight there. And then we're going to do the second TFL stretch. I've had some people say they don't get a stretch with this second one, but if you don't, you don't. That just means, you don't need the stretch. I'm going to grab a couple blocks. You don't really need the blocks, but they might help a little bit. So I'm going to be in a kneeling position. I like to use a pillow for this, but you don't need to. I'm going to cross my right ankle over the left, like that. And I'm going to kind of spread my feet a little bit. I'm going to push my knees towards each other, and I'm going to walk myself up. I'm going to lower my hips, pushing the knees in towards each other, and lift. The lift is a TFL stretch. Going back, glute stretch. Sometimes I like to add a little, so I'm stretching mostly, for me, I'm feeling it in my left TFL. So if I want to, sometimes I like to just kind of move around, play around with little angles, and move out to the side, and then kind of arc back a bit. And to me, I get into that TFL a lot better that way. Play around with it. See what works for you. This one's called the seated rodeo. And then we will switch sides. So now I'm going to cross my left ankle over my right. I'm going to squeeze my knees together and lift and lower, opposite side. So coming up, TFL, coming down, glute. And again, I'm going to swing my hip out to the side, kind of get into that TFL a little bit more. And I'm getting a little glute medius too, glute minimus. All those muscles are like partners in crime. They stabilize us, but they also cause us lots of pain and tightness. And then we'll move on to pigeon. We do not, for resistance stretching, Kihara resistance stretching, we do not do passive pigeon. If you are pretty tight in this area, I would recommend just starting here, like this, and you're going to push your knee and your ankle into the mat. And as you're pushing, you're going to come forward. You can use your hands and then push out of it. So start with that. If you can't get your leg into that much of a 90-degree or kind of less than that angle, then pull it in a little bit and push the knee and the ankle. See what that does for you. So we can do it this way. We can do it this way. We can come into, it's modified pigeon, but we'll try it. So I'm going to stretch my back leg out. And the back leg can be bent a little bit. That's fine too. This is fine. You could be here and pushing in and out of it. You can stretch the back leg. And I'm going to push my ankle and my foot, or my foot and my knee into the mat. Come forward. You don't need to use your hands, but you can just for a little help here. So by pushing into the floor, I've created that resistance. And coming down, I'm getting a stretch, and then come back up again. And then another thing that you can do, and this is a lot more advanced, is squeeze your knees together. You could use your blocks for this or not. So I'm just going to use my blocks for just a little help. So I'm squeezing my knees together, and I'm just going to lift up and out of this stretch, and then come back down again. So in all actuality, you could lift yourself all the way up. I'm taking the carpet with me, and back down. And that would be your resistance stretch for pigeon. If you can pull out of it, you have business being in it. If you can't, then you're probably overstretching. So avoid that because you're dealing with your sacrum and you really don't want to overstretch those muscles. So let's try this on the other side. We'll start with just like here, or you can stretch this leg out a little bit more if you want to. I'm pressing my ankle and my knee into the mat. Push, push, push. Lean. And come back up again. So that may be enough for you. Or you can start to stretch this leg out in the back. And really, you could just stay here and push the ankle and the knee into the mat and come forward and back. I'm getting, with all of these abductor stretches, well, the first two and this one, getting some lateral hamstring as well, because it's kind of part of the fascia line. It goes up through the outer hamstring and then to the glutes and then crosses over to the opposite shoulder. Sometimes you can get rid of a pain in the opposite shoulder just by stretching the opposite line on the other side. Just cross over and down. And then we'll try the pigeon, modified pigeon. Use my blocks just for a little assistance. And then I'm pulling my knees together to lift up and then coming back down again. Yeah. So I would definitely recommend, if you do pigeon, to do this one, because even if you just pump up and down a few times, you're going to get deeper into the stretch anyway than you were at first, rather than just waiting for the muscle to stretch out magically. This will warm the muscle up a little bit, so you get a little bit deeper into pigeon. It's a lot safer than just dropping into pigeon, because you got your entire body weight just yanking on that sacrum. So much better way to stretch. All right, so that will do it for today. A plethora of glute exercises. Hope you enjoyed it. Again, please like and subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you next time. Bye-bye.